So we'll start with our typical 15 minutes of seated meditation. So we'll chant the Gatha on opening the sutras. This Dharma, incomparably profound and minutely subtle, is rarely encountered even in hundreds of thousands of millions of ages. Now we see it, hear it, hold and maintain it. May we completely realize the true mind of all Buddhas. So, greetings, great bodhisattvas. It's September now, post Labor Day, and this is historically, typically, where kids go back to school, and I always thought of it as the start of a new year, and not just another school year. It was sort of a transition. I always I was one of those weird kids who actually liked going to school. And there were a number of reasons behind that that we needn't go into right now, but it is the case. So I was thinking about the talks that we've given over the last couple years, and it dawned on me that none of them were specifically about the mechanics, let's say, of Zen. So tonight I wanted to talk about the how and why of Zen, starting with how to sit in meditation. And then we'll go into the why of meditation later. But the typical meditation posture, and we will have some images on screen to help us with that, because on Zoom it's kind of tough to actually do all this stuff. So for starters, the historical way was to do it by way of full lotus position, and that's where left leg goes on top of right, right leg goes on top of left. The palms of the feet, if you like, are both pointed upwards, and you would sit in meditation in that way. If, like some of us, you're no longer quite so flexible anymore, there is, of course, the half lotus position, which is one leg up and the other one down, so right leg on top of left thigh and left shin firmly on the ground. And the point of both of those, and all these postures in general, is that we find ourselves in a tripod position where we're firmly grounded, sitting on like the first third of the meditation cushion, and with the knees as supports. So you've got that butt, knee triangle going, and it's very solid. And there's a reason that we do that. So there's another method of sitting still on a cushion, and that one is called Burmese style, which basically the shins are parallel to the ground, and neither foot is on top of either thigh. But again, it's the same tripod. This, when I found that when wearing full robes, that trying to get into lotus or half lotus position was a pretty effective way to get me to fall over. So Burmese was a pretty reasonable way of sitting. Um, there are others. Not everyone can get down onto a cushion, so uh, there's you can straddle a cushion, which is basically a lot of people will take the meditation cushion itself and turn it upright so that it's a little further off the floor, so you're not in the typical knees and butt on cushion and mat kind of position. There's a little bit more of a raise to it, so a lot of people find it easier not to have to go down as far. Um, Another way, of course, is on a chair, and that's certainly perfectly reasonable. Um, we do the same thing. Our feet are flat on the floor, and our back is in the same position. Our head is in the same position as it is in all of the other uh, methods of sitting. Basically, the nose and navel are in line with each other. The shoulders are relaxed. Even though you're maintaining a pretty strict posture, it's not a tight posture. So shoulders are relaxed, hands are relaxed, legs are relaxed, and yet you still have the nose and navel aligned. You take your eyes and you shut them halfway, let's say. And then, depending on your circumstances, some people say to gaze out 6 feet ahead, which on Zoom, of course, is rather difficult because I would be looking through a wall in order to do that. But it's generally speaking, glance down at the floor or whatever surface is in front of you at like a 45-degree angle, and you don't focus on anything in particular. You just let the eyes be aware of the surroundings. Um, Funny little aside I have in that regard. I was at a temple once, and I was sitting in a corner near a column, and some joker decided that drawing a little dot on this column would be a good focal point. Well, it was. I couldn't help. My eyes would keep on raising up to see that darn dot. There's another instance where there was a bug crawling on the floor in front of me, which in meditation I found absolutely fascinating. So, yeah, we try and just be aware of our surroundings, but sometimes our surroundings can be very intriguing, um, especially when they're a little black dot on a column, apparently. So, we've got the back, we've got the eyes. Now, how do we breathe? And in our tradition, we breathe totally naturally. You breathe through the nose. Some people will breathe in and then breathe out a longer period so that the lungs are fully release the air, carbon monoxide in this case. But it's a natural thing. We don't like press ourselves into doing it. It's just inhale, exhale. It might last longer than the inhale does. Um, with all of this, there is no good or bad about it. Sitting in full lotus is no better than half lotus, is no better than on a chair. Sitting in full lotus with your right leg over your left thigh is no better than sitting there with your left leg over your left foot over your right thigh. It's natural. It's our natural state. So we devote our mind and body into meditation. We don't strive for anything. We don't, say, "Oh, I'm not doing this right. I'm a bad Zenny." We just catch ourselves if our posture isn't so great, then we just straighten up. If your eyes are totally shut and you're starting to doze off and you realize it, open your eyes a little bit and refocus. We're not sitting in meditation to be judgmental of ourselves. We're sitting in meditation to meditate. Period. And we'll go into the why of that a little later, but so there's even a suggestion of what to do with the tongue while you're meditating. So the idea is that you're breathing in through the nose and then out through the nose, if possible, out through the mouth if necessary. But the tip of the tongue is basically pressed against your upper palate, like right behind your two front teeth. And the reason for that is apparently that lessens the amount of saliva that your mouth produces, which I've never really evaluated whether that's true or not. I've never been able to quantify the amount of saliva, with tongue pressed behind teeth or not, but somebody probably did at some point somewhere around 1,000 years ago, so I'll take their word for it. There are some other things that we do, and it's with the hands. And the hands, as are being shown in this image, are right hand on the bottom, left hand on top. Knuckles align, the middle knuckles align. And personally, I go for a slightly larger oval when doing the Cosmic Mudra. But that's the idea, is right hand bottom, left hand on top of it, knuckles aligned, and thumbs just barely touching. I was once told that your thumbs should touch, but only as far as would allow a piece of paper to slide between them. So it's not tight, not loose, just barely in contact. And that's what we do with our hands. Now, thank you for sharing all the images, by the way, Johnson. Appreciated. So we got the legs, we got the spine, we got the head, we got the breathing. So what do we do with the other things that are involved in our practice? One thing we do is try and focus on what the um, the Koreans call danjan, the Japanese call hara, Chinese call it tantian, and it's basically that area like 2 inches below your navel, the chi center, and we focus our energy onto that. Again, it's not a conscious, oh, I'm going to focus my energy. It's more of a, okay, this is where my center is. And we just deal with that. A lot of people will actually, on both inhale and exhale, will thrust their belly out a little bit in order to keep focused on the danjan. In our tradition, as Zen Master Sungsan would often say, um, this is your don't know center. This is our just do it center. So we focus on that. Now, okay, so we got all of that physical stuff taken care of, right? But now comes that thing between the ears which will drive us nuts if we let it. So a lot of people, when they're just starting out, will be told, in order to focus your attention, in order to keep your mind from wandering, in order to keep your mind from thinking, what am I going to have for dinner tonight? Geez, I really wish I would have flipped that guy off when he cut me off in traffic. Having arguments with other people who aren't actually in the same room with you. All of that is detrimental to our practice. It's not to say that it doesn't happen, and regardless of how long you've been doing it, it may still happen. You could be a rank beginner sitting for the second time and accomplish the state that's sometimes called no mind. But a lot of people are told when they start to, on the exhales and inhales, you gauge them, you set them up so that each inhale or exhale corresponds to a number. Now, personally, I've always started with the exhale as 1 and inhale as 2 and exhale on 3, inhale on 4, so on and so forth, up to 10. And the reason that I start counting on the exhale is because, for me anyway, that's the act of letting go. That's the antithesis of desire. I mean, when you want to stay alive, you're pretty fond of inhaling, right? Exhaling will follow along too, but inhaling is that act of desire. I want to stay alive. So I always start counting or whatever on the exhale. That's just me. There are some other things that people can do when they're beginners. one of them is chanting something softly, quietly, silently to yourself, such as clear mind, clear mind, clear mind, don't know. Clear mind, clear mind, clear mind, don't know. I know of a teacher in our order who has her students do a what is this? Don't know. As a, what is this? Inhale. Don't know. Exhale. And again, it's not going to be 100% effective at all times, but hopefully it will shove the thoughts of dinner and the guy that cut you off on the road a little further away from occupying all of your thought. Um, Personally, a lot of times when I'm meditating, I'll actually silently cheat Namu Amida Bul to myself. And you find that most mantras seem to have 6 syllables to them, and that's mine. Na on the exhale, mu on the inhale, ah, me, ta, bul, and then back down to na. And that's basically the Korean, I take refuge in Amitabha Buddha. Um, Other people will chant Kwan Seum Bo Sal, Kwan Seum Bo Sal, silently to themselves as they breathe in and out. And another way to do it, and this may or may not be appropriate if you are not working with a teacher, but there is the Huadu that can often be used both as a means to keeping your mind focused on your meditation, and it's also in a more advanced state the intense questioning. And like I said, one teacher I know does what is this? Don't know. What is this is one of the more common Huadus. Um, who am I is another. There are any number of them along those lines. But again, I say this as a caveat that it would be best if there were a teacher involved. My teacher gave me a particular Wadu to use in my practice, and the idea is that the Wadu is kept close to the heart all day, all night, at work, at rest, at play, whatever the Huadu, what is this? What is this? What is this? Is always kept close to the heart. So now we have all of the hows. Somebody could watch this video and, in theory, get themselves a mat and a cushion and follow all those instructions and look at the Quantum website and the Choge International website and get the images that Johnson so generously shared with us. Now here's the why. Why do we practice then? A lot of people will start off meditating because it's going to give them that sense of peace and well-being, and all is right, and we are the world, and everything is unified and all good. And sure, that's certainly one of the aspects to it. Others may come to it out of a sense of coming from another religion that just plain wasn't working anymore. Um, the reasons of why are all very personal, and the effects that are gained from meditation are also intensely personal and individual. When I meditate, what happens with me is not going to be the same thing that happens with you. There is no universal state of no mind like everybody experiences the same no mind. You know, I can sit here in the new Hermitage and the lights are dimmer than my old place. There are certainly fewer motorcycles going by here. Uh, there was a dog that was kind of barking away for a while there. But when sitting, it doesn't have to be dark. It doesn't have to be silent. It can be bright. It can be noisy. We maintain our Zen mind, right? Whatever form that may take, we keep that. We stay focused in whatever way we need to, be it counting, be it chanting, be it just observing the breath. You know, there are plenty of people who will count up to 10 and then start over at 1 again, and it's all good. And then the next thing you know, they're on 15, and oops, back to 1, but without any judgment about having hit 15. So maybe that's the most crucial benefit that we can get from meditation, is that when we're in the process of meditating, we leave aside, we put down all the judgments. Oh, I'm not doing this right. Look, their posture is totally wrong. Right? We can put aside those judgments, and then when we get off the cushion, we can apply that more naturally in our other circumstances. When the guy cuts you off in traffic, when dinner arrives and it's cold and the waiter doesn't seem to care. Not good, not bad. We observe from moment to moment to moment. We maintain our equilibrium, if you like, our equanimity as best we can. And when we lose it, again, no judgment. We keep meditating to help us find our true nature, to see our original face. It's tough to do it without meditation, is what I've found. It's not just on the cushion, although that is probably the easiest place to meditate and to maintain that correct Buddha mind. There are fewer distractions. You might be staring at a wall. You might be staring at the practitioner across from you. In our tradition, people sit in a row facing the statue of the Buddha and the guiding teacher at the front. Um, Not good, not bad. Just focus, focus, focus without expending any energy in the focusing. May all beings be happy. May you save all sentient beings. Thank you. Okay, so now that you've had the how-to lesson, I expect all of you to do it perfectly in whatever perfect way that is, because it's already perfect however you end up doing it. So we'll start in with our next period of seated meditation. time for us to chant the Heart Sutra. Mahaprajna Paramita Hridaya Sutra Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva, when practicing deeply the Prajna Paramita, perceives that all five skandhas are empty and is saved from all suffering and distress. Shariputra, form does not differ from emptiness. Emptiness does not differ from form. That which is form is emptiness. That which is emptiness, form. The same is true of feelings, perceptions, impulses, consciousness. Shariputra, all dharmas are marked with emptiness. They do not appear or disappear, are not tainted or pure, do not increase or decrease. Therefore in emptiness, no form, no feelings, perceptions, impulses, consciousness, no eyes, no ears, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no color, no sound, no smell, no taste, no touch, no object of mind, no realm of eyes, and so forth, until no realm of mind consciousness, no ignorance, and also no extinction of it, and so forth, until no old age and death, and also no extinction of them, no suffering, no origination, no stopping, no path, no cognition, also no attainment, with nothing to attain. The bodhisattva depends on prajna paramita, and the mind is no hindrance. Without any hindrance, no fears exist. Far apart from every perverted view, one dwells in nirvana. In the three worlds, all Buddhas depend on prajna paramita and attain anuttara samyak sambodhi. Therefore know that prajna paramita is the great transcendent mantra, is the great bright mantra, is the utmost mantra, is the supreme mantra, which is able to relieve all suffering and is true, not false. So proclaim the prajna paramita mantra. Proclaim the mantra which says gate gate paragate parasamgate bodhisvaha. Gate gate paragate parasamgate bodhisvaha. Gate gate paragate parasamgate bodhisvaha. Comes time in the service where we dedicate merit to various people. I have a list that I'll start with, and I'll ask anyone to join in at whatever point. All sentient beings are one seamless body and pass quickly from birth to death. We remember those who cared for us and are gone. those who are ill, those who are at war, who are hungry, and who are in pain. May they heal and have peace. We especially dedicate our service to Mrs. Kanti Pereira, Venerable Dehuala Anamanasi Thero, Mr. Vindana Shivimane, Mrs. Amara Sarojani, Mike Gingy Wood, Kevin and Bailey Sheridan, Laura Haas Knox. Would anyone like to add anyone in?
Momenta and the people of Sri Lanka.
Any others?
The people of Afghanistan and those affected by the flood in Pakistan.
The people in Mississippi.
And Eastern Kentucky.
Any others? All beings in 10 directions, subject to the greed, hatred, and delusions of themselves and others. All Buddhas throughout space and time, all honored ones, Bodhisattva, Mahasattvas, wisdom beyond wisdom, Maha Prajna Paramita. And now we're adding in something a little new this evening. So Johnson will share the screen. We're talking about the faith in practice vow. I will never retreat and will be firm in my mind in this correct Dharma. I will escape from the samsaric cycle of birth and death, and definitely will see my original face. I will be sure to inherit the life of insight of the Buddha and save all sentient beings. Life and death are of supreme importance. Time passes swiftly by and opportunities to awaken are easily lost. Strive to realize your true nature. Do not squander your time by night or day.